Hey there, I'm Alan Matthews, and I would like to talk to you about tuning with harmonics. This is kind of like a jujitsu magic type of thing. Whenever you see people tuning with harmonics, you just assume, wow, they really know what they're doing. And now that can be you. First off, what are harmonics? How we play a harmonic. We can play them on the 12th, the 7th, and the 5th. You just touch the string lightly with your finger directly over the fret. So not behind the fret where you would normally press it, but actually right over the fret. And then you play it, and then you get this boom, a very high thing, and you can actually retouch it again. The string is stopped right where you play that, and then it's vibrating on either side. So what you can do then for harmonics is find two spots or two different strings that have the same pitch, and then you can listen to one and then match it to another one and then tune that string based on the first one. What the benefit of this is that you can let it ring. I'm just going to tune this string down. So if it's out of tune, you can actually keep hearing it. So if you tune from the 5th fret, like play the 5th fret on the E string and listen to the open A, you have to take your finger off to go down here and do it, unless you want to do some contortionist act. But with the harmonics, it keeps ringing. And so you can, and listen to it there. So I would, first off, if you don't know how to tune just from the 5th fret method, 5, 5, 5, 4, 5, I would just do that first. But then this way is another way. And you may end up doing a combination of them in the end. So what actually are the places to play these harmonics so that you can tune the string? We're going to start with the assumption that your low E string is in tune. It may or may not be. If you're using a tuning fork, then you can get the pitch from a tuning fork, which I'll just tell you right now. Here's a tuning fork. This isn't a tuning fork tutorial, but that tuning fork is this pitch. And that happens to be the 7th fret on the 4th string, D string. That's that note. So that's, if you want to get it from a tuning fork, it's the harmonic on the 7th fret of the 4th string on the D string. And then you can just go from there. So getting into tuning with harmonics. On the low E string, 5th fret. So remember, touch right above the string, play nice and loud. And then the next would be the 7th fret on the next string over the A string. And that's these two notes right here. So remember, it's right here and right here, really, but my software didn't make it on the frets, and so it's behind the frets. So that's the spots. You play the first one, listen to it, play the second one, and then you can go up here and tune that second note that you play, the one closest to the floor, unless you're going the other direction. For the next one, it's the same thing, except now you play the 5th fret on the 5th string and the 7th fret on the 4th string. And those should sound the same. Again, if they're off, then I recommend going down below and then coming back up and tuning so that you approach you're listening to that warble. Wom, wom, wom. And as you get closer, it'll start to slow down. So if it's fast, and finally it's right in there. So you can just listen to that. Next string, exact same thing. So 5th fret on the 4th string, 7th fret on the 3rd. And that gets you those. Now things get a little bit trickier, because to get the B string and the E string, well, it doesn't continue to work in that same way, and it gets very high to do it up there. So what you can do then is play the 7th fret to tune the B string, the 2nd string. You can play the 7th fret of the low E, and then play the open string, the B. So it's the 7th fret E string is the open B. Likewise, the 7th fret of the A string is the open E. So then you have 5 and 7, 5 and 7, 5 and 7, 7 in the open B, 7 in the open E. And so those are your ways to, and then you would just like listen to it and test it if you'd like, or check it with the 5, 5, 5, 4, 5 way of doing it, if you know what I'm talking about there. And that is how to tune with harmonics. But I have to say, there's a caveat, and that is that this assumes, to tune with harmonics, it assumes that your intonation is right on the guitar, and it might not be. Especially if you play a less expensive instrument, then that means that this note and this note, it might not be the actual pitches, so that whenever you actually go to play, it's a little bit off. It's a good place to start, but it's not foolproof because it takes into account the intonation, because you're not actually fretting anything. So whenever you go to actually fret things, it may be a little bit off. It'll be in tune this way from the full open string, but this means that as you actually fret the notes, then it might not be as in tune as it sounds when you're tuning with the harmonics. So they all have their plus and minuses, right? So that is this one. So enjoy tuning with harmonics. It'll make you look very cool and very knowledgeable, and it frees up the hand to be able to do it. If you liked this, please subscribe to this channel down below, and go over to classicalguitarshed.com as you are able, and browse there as well. So good to see you. Bye.